episode 530 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. We are live on this Saturday night to talk about WWE Crown Jewel Premium Live event live from Saudi Arabia. Championships were on the line and titles changed hands. A career making performance, and did John Cena tease his retirement in the ring, and the Tribal Chief, his legendary title reign continues. Also, we'll be talking about tonight's episode of AEW Saturday Collision, and talk about some of the news going on in the world of professional wrestling. That's all tonight, right here, right now, on a special live episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hello, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to episode 530 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, and Saturday nights all right for fighting. Hello, everyone. This is another special live episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. On this Saturday night, and got quite a bit of pro wrestling action to talk about tonight. Earlier today was the WWE Crown Jewel Premium Live event, live from Saudi Arabia. Luckily, I was able to watch some of it at work when I was there, and the rest I watched when I got home after Collision, so I was able to finish up and go live here for the podcast not too late tonight. So I'm going to talk about everything that took place on Collision tonight and Crown Jewel earlier today. Hope everyone had a great Saturday. Hope everyone enjoyed your day. And after the recap's gonna try to talk about all the news going on in the world of professional wrestling today, and there is definitely no shortage of news to talk about. And let's just get started today by talking about WWE Crown Jewel, the Premium Live event, which took place live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the Mohammed Abdul Arena. Sorry if I said that wrong, but that did take place today, and started at 1 p.m. Eastern. I was a little off by the time the kickoff actually started at noon today, and that's another thing I was actually wrong about, was the start of the kickoff, and lately the kickoffs for the PLEs. Lately they haven't been having any matches, but today, of course, to prove me wrong, they had a match on the kickoff, which was Sami Zayn taking on JD McDonough in singles action. This one I thought was a pretty good match, and Sami Zayn was on the card, and of course he was over in front of the Saudi Arabia crowd. And this one, JD McDonough at one point had a nasty bruise on his ribs that looked pretty bad. If you haven't seen that yet, I'm sure you can find the photo on Instagram or anywhere else on social media. That's probably up there now. And Sami Zayn gets the win, defeating JD McDonough on the kickoff, 9 minutes, 40 seconds. This match I'll probably give 3 out of 5 ring bells. Not a bad match for a kickoff. And then we start the main Crown Jewel card on Peacock and WWE Network, depending where you are in the world. Our commentators for tonight, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. And we have Byron Saxton doing the ring announcing today. And our first match to kick off the Crown Jewel Premium Live event is for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Seth freaking Rollins defending against the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. I thought this was actually kind of early on the card. I mean, I'm not too surprised. They usually try to start off these PLEs with a big match. And I probably thought Roman Reigns and LA Knight probably would main event the show. So it wasn't really a big surprise, but these two had a good match. There were some spots in the match where it did look like McIntyre was going to defeat Rollins to win the championship. But in the end, Seth freaking Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Drew McIntyre. For the first match here on the main card anyway, I thought it was pretty good here. 18 minutes, 20 seconds. I'll give this one probably 3.5 ring bells. I thought this was a good match to start off the show pretty strong with a big match. McIntyre, it looked pretty good here. Even though he didn't get the victory, he still looked pretty good in there against Rollins. So still World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. And next up, we have a fatal 5-way match for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Rhea Ripley, Mommy, taking on Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. And Rhea Ripley gets a big entrance here, big championship entrance. And this one, I thought was an okay match. I wouldn't say anything real great, but good match here. And Rhea Ripley successfully retains the Women's World Championship at 11 minutes, 5 seconds. And they go out to the Arabic announce table a little bit here. Some good action in it, and like I said, Rhea Ripley retaining. And next up, maybe one of my picks for match of the night on this card. We have the enforcer of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa, taking on, as they call him now, the greatest of all time, John Cena. And of course, John Cena was over, and I want to say there was some dueling "Let's go Cena" and "Cena sucks" chants here. There was also some CM Punk chants that actually broke out in Saudi Arabia today. So this one, I thought they did a really good job of making Solo look strong, look dominant against a legend like Cena. And he actually gets the win clean here, defeating John Cena with no interference from the bloodline. He didn't even have Paul Heyman in his corner or Jimmy Uso. For this one, he hit the Samoan spike. Cena kicks out, and then he hits it again, and then he hits about 3 more Samoan spikes to Cena, and then finally goes for the pin. Just a car pit counts the 1, 2, 3, Solo getting a win. And I thought Michael Cole and Wade Barrett here did a good job of putting Solo over in this victory against a legend like John Cena. And then after Solo celebrates his victory and goes to the back, Cena in the ring, he gets some "thank you Cena" chants from the crowd. And then now online, of course, they're on all the websites that Cena was teasing retirement. Not sure if that's true or not, but who knows. Cena goes to the back after this loss. 16 minutes, 10 seconds. This one, actually, I was a big fan of this match. And like I said, maybe my pick for match of the night. And I'll give this one 4 out of 5 ring bells. I thought they, like I said, repeating myself, but I thought they did a really good job of making Solo Sikoa look really strong and dominant against a legend like John Cena. And I do see a lot of Umaga in Solo Sikoa. Of course, they are related, so I wouldn't say that's really a big surprise or anything. But I could see him being a big star in the future, possibly a future Universal Champion if they choose to go that way, with maybe him challenging Roman Reigns in the future and defeating him for the title. I could actually possibly see that. And next up on Crown Jewel, we have the United States Championship on the line. Logan Paul challenging the legendary Rey Mysterio. Logan Paul, they had a video of him earlier in the desert on some, is it an ATV, I think, doing some things there, and he rides it into the arena for his entrance, and then we get the entrance of Rey Mysterio, and we get a lot of 619 chants from the crowd. And I thought this was a good match here. Logan Paul, I have said this many times about him. Before he signed with WWE, I had no idea who in the world he was. And if he wasn't in WWE, I still probably wouldn't know who he was. And he worked a really good match with Rey Mysterio here. And Mysterio, of course, did help pull a good match out of him. But, and to finish these, one of Logan Paul's buddies come out with a pair of brass knuckles. And we see Santos Escobar come out from the crowd to stop him from interfering and chase him through the crowd. And then Escobar takes the brass knuckles and sets them right down on the apron, right where Logan Paul could easily reach them. So that was kind of a giveaway of what the finish was going to be. Mysterio goes for the 619, misses. Logan Paul gets the brass knuckles, uses them to pick up the victory, defeating Rey Mysterio to become the new WWE United States Champion and winning his first championship in WWE. Of course, he does have a can of Prime Energy, or it might have been the hydration bottle that I don't remember which one it was for sure, but Logan Paul, new United States Champion at 17 minutes, 55 seconds. Like I said, I thought this was a good match. Logan Paul. Now, when it comes to celebrities in pro wrestling, if it's one, sometimes you see some of them, they don't take it serious. They're just there for a payday to make some extra money. And then I think that's kind of silly, you know, not really a big fan of that. But in this case, Logan Paul, I actually believe, is one of those celebrities that does take it seriously and wants to be there. And so I'm fine with him having this title. I'll give this one, I think, 3.5 out of 5 ring bells. And next up we have the WWE Women's Championship match on the line. From Damage Control, Io Sky taking on the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Pretty good match here for the WWE Women's Championship. And it's been talked about for a little while now. Kairi Sane returning to WWE after her run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. She is back and helps Io Sky defeat Bianca Belair to retain the WWE Women's Championship at 16 minutes, 35 seconds. Good match. I'll give this one 3 out of 5 ring bells. And next up, we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on Senior Money in the Bank, representing the Judgment Day, Damian Priest. And I just want to mention, there was something I forgot earlier. After the World Heavyweight Championship match, after Seth Rollins scored that victory, Damian Priest did come out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, teasing a cash-in, but then Sami Zayn came out, took the briefcase, and ran through the crowd, foiling the plan of Damian Priest. So the cash-in did not happen. And this match I thought was really good, actually. And they made Damian Priest look pretty good against Cody Rhodes here. They went to the floor, to the Arabic announce table once again. Priest teased doing a Razor's Edge, Shades of Razor Ramon through the announce table, but that did not work out. And Cody Rhodes ends up getting the win over Damian Priest at 11 minutes, 5 seconds. Pretty good match here. I'll give this match 3 out of 5 ring bells. And now it's time for main event at Crown Jewel. the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, with his council, the wise man, Paul Heyman, taking on the challenger, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Going into this one, I didn't really think L.A. Knight was going to get the title, but one thing I was glad about is they didn't make him look weak in this one. Of course, he was over like Rover in front of the crowd, and they did make him look good, and there was some spots in this match where it looked like he was gonna defeat Roman Reigns, and we did get Jimmy Uso in this one interfering. Roman Reigns hitting a couple of spears, LA Knight kicking out, LA Knight getting some elbow drops in for near falls. But in the end, Roman Reigns defeats LA Knight to retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And no Money in the Bank cash-in. 20 minutes, 5 seconds for this one. I'll give this one, I thought this was a pretty solid main event, so I'll give it 4 out of 5 ring bells. Roman Reigns still Universal Champion, and like I said earlier, Solo Sikoa, they made him look dominant and strong in the match against John Cena. So I wouldn't be surprised, actually, in the future we do see that maybe turn him babyface and face Roman Reigns for a Universal Championship. I'm not sure, maybe it's a little too soon for that, but maybe could save that for WrestleMania possibly, if they can't get The Rock next year for Mania like they want to, but or maybe even next SummerSlam. And I think that those two could have a really good main event for the title, and I could definitely see Solo Sikoa being a big star in the WWE. Also, on the PLE today, it was announced that in January 2024, the WWE Experience is coming to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Kind of looks like a museum attraction, which I admit does look pretty neat. Of course, I can't afford to travel to Saudi Arabia, but that does look pretty awesome though. Also, overall, just a good premium live event, I thought. I don't know if I would say it was the best one ever, but pretty good. Overall, I'd have to give this one probably a solid 8 out of 10 ring bells for today's premium live event. And now let's go on over to tonight, TNT AEW Saturday Collision. Our commentators for tonight, we have Tony Schiavone, Kevin Kelly, Nigel McGuinness, and WWE Hall of Famer, good old JR Jim Ross, join them for the main event. We start things off with the video packages, the pre-match interviews, and we see in the back AR Fox attacks Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana. These two have a pretty good match to start off Collision tonight. Swerve Strickland picking up the win. And we have the Kingdom in action, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett with Roderick Strong they're in action. They take on the team of Brixton Nash and Jameson McGregor. Just kind of a quick squash match here. Not too bad though. And we have Darby Allin taking on the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer with the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner. And pretty good match here, actually. I thought Darby Allin getting the win. And then after the match, we see that Jake Roberts has now joined forces with the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch. And the AEW Trios Championships are on the line. Daddy Ass Billy Gunn and the acclaimed Max Caster and Anthony Bowens take on the team of Dalton Castle and the Boys in a Trios match. The acclaimed retain, celebrating 69 days as AEW Trios Champions. And tonight on Collision, we also see the return, and the debut actually on Collision, of Mark Briscoe teaming with Limitless Keith Lee and the Natural Dustin Rhodes. They defeat the team of Kip Sabian and the Workhorsemen J.D. Drake and Anthony Henry in a trios match. Pretty good match here. Was good to see Mark Briscoe on Collision tonight. Big fan of Mark Briscoe. And in women's action, we have Willow Nightingale defeating Emi Sakura in what I thought was a pretty good match here. Of course, I always talk about I am a big fan of Willow Nightingale. Good to see her get a victory. And LFI, the Faction Incunable, seeing the in-ring return of Roosh, Preston Vance, and FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, with Jose the Assistant and Drilistico take on the Gates of Agony and the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill, with Prince Nana in their corner. 8-man tag main event. LFI getting the win here. I thought this was a pretty good match. And that was Collision tonight. Pretty good episode. I don't know if I would say it was real great. So overall, on this Saturday, I thought we did have a pretty good day and night of pro wrestling. And also Samoa Joe said he has not heard an answer from MJF yet. And before I wrap up, some news going on in the world of pro wrestling. It was announced tonight on Collision that Samoa Joe is now the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Television champion, and he will defend against Keith Lee this Wednesday night on Dynamite. And also this Wednesday on Dynamite, we will see Red Velvet make her return to AEW television to take on Julia Hart. Also, AEW Winter is Coming will take place on December 13th this year. And also today, another big show that took place was New Japan Pro Wrestling's Power Struggle, which the biggest announcement coming from it was the American Dragon Bryan Danielson challenging Kazuchika Okada for a match at Wrestle Kingdom. I think I might save that show to talk more about it maybe on tomorrow's episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. And so I'll probably have something better to talk about tomorrow morning. Or talk more about it, I should say. And that is all for episode 530 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic on the Saturday night. Thank you everyone for listening. Hope everyone had a great Saturday. Hope everyone enjoyed WWE Crown Jewel and AEW Collision. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend wherever you are in the world. And like I said, tomorrow, hope to talk more about New Japan's power struggle. And have a good night, everyone. I will talk to everyone tomorrow morning. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.